Man, what a game last night from Tyrese Maxey, keeping the 76ers alive and forcing a game six in downtown Philly. We're going to talk about that. But before we get into this video, please make sure you hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into this. So, I'm not going to do a regular live today because I'm going to be a little bit busy, but I'm going to do this quick video real quick. And tomorrow night we'll definitely do a live after game six. But let's talk about this game right here. So the 76ers went into New York for game five, elimination game, season on the line. Embiid's legacy was on the line. But I mean, certain people were saying Embiid's legacy was on the line, but the 76ers were able to hold on to dear life and force a game six and keep their season alive. Now, Maxi was the hero tonight. Maxi did everything for the 76ers. I mean, Maxi finished with 46 points, 9 assists, five rebounds. He hit the clutch shot to help send the game to overtime. And Embiid wasn't really himself. Embiid only had 19 points. Let me see. Yeah, Embiid had 19 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists. So he had a triple double, but it wasn't really that good of a triple double. If you watch the game, he wasn't really himself offensively. Now defensively, he was solid. He led the entire game with rebounding. I mean, he had 16 rebounds, had the most offensive and defensive rebounds, with the total of 16. And the 76ers as a team out rebounded the New York Knicks by six. They only have 40. The Sixers have 46. But Embiid was solid defensively, with 16 rebounds and had five blocks as well. He was protecting the rim. He did get dunked on by Mitchell Robinson on the alley-oop pass, but he was, for the most part, he was solid defensively, and he did just as enough to help the Sixers win this game today. Now, he was also terrible on the other side because he had 9 turnovers. So if he had one more, that probably would have been a quadruple double. But Tyrese Maxey stepping up for the Sixers really helped. And Tobias Harris also stepped up, giving you 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. Now, I said this before and I'll say it again. If Tobias Harris was giving the Sixers his season average, the Sixers would probably be in a much better position in this series right now. Now, giving you 19 points, and in the first quarter, they was running the offense through him. They were trying to get him going. He made 2 threes in the first, and got to the mid range and shot shot a couple mid range. I mean, I think he was 4 for 4 or 3 for 3 in the first quarter alone because they were running the offense through him and Tyrese Maxey, and they were using Embiid mostly for defensive purposes. Now Embiid did, take a little, mid-range shots, but they were not falling for him. It were shots that he usually makes, but for whatever reason, he wasn't able to capitalize on those, or those shots was just not falling. And you could tell he barely had any lift on those jump shots. I think Mitchell Robinson blocked one of his shots because he barely even got off the floor. He barely he barely elevated into the jump shot, and Mitchell Robinson was able to block it. But it was a great team victory for the 76ers. Kyle Lowry didn't really have a great game himself. He was in foul trouble for the most part. But I mean, some of the fouls that he was being called for, I just thought it was unfair because Josh Hart, on the other hand, was playing football, playing rugby, and he's not getting called for any fouls whatsoever. It was just surprising to me that he played 50 minutes and was only called for 2 fouls, when in reality, he fouled Maxey multiple times going to the basket. Maxey barely gets any calls in the NBA. Maxey always goes downhill strong, finishes through contact, or sometimes he's not able to finish it because three guys are collapsing on him and fouling him, but he's not getting those calls. But Maxi didn't really let that bother him. He was still doing his thing, still making shots, still facilitating, working off those Embiid screens, running DHOs with Tobias Harris and Nico. And he shot the three ball very good. I think he made 7 threes. Yeah, 7 threes in this game, including the huge shot that he made in the fourth quarter to tie the game up to send it to overtime. Maxi really did his thing. Now, Embiid, before the game, it was widely known that Embiid was not. People thought he wasn't going to play because he was dealing with a migraine. That's something that was reported before the game. In addition to the Bell's palsy that he's dealing with, and his surgically repaired knee, so he's dealing with almost three things at a time. But he didn't really let that stop him. He went out there and did what was necessary to do. At some point, I really thought he was selling because he was not giving any effort, and Maxi had to step in his face and tell him like, "Yo, we got this. Yo, don't be down on yourself. We got this. We can win this series." And him Maxi giving him confidence. I really like that because you don't really see that a lot, especially with Joel being in Philly. But yeah, that was that. And Kelly Oubre was also solid as well. Kelly Oubre was guarding Jaylen Brunson fairly good. I mean, Jaylen Brunson is so tough. He's gonna make some tough shots. Um, he's gonna make some tough shots. And I mean, the first two games in the series, Jaylen Brunson was really, really struggling because Kelly Oubre was playing some tough defense on him. But he's been able to break loose. Uh, three straight games with 40 plus, I believe. And he's a one man show in New York. Kind of reminds me of what Allen Iverson was doing back with the Sixers in '01. With that, him carrying that job. There's some similarities because the Knicks don't really have reliable offensive guys, even though sometimes they step up, they make threes or get to the basket. Miles McBride comes off the bench, does a great deal for them. I think Miles McBride is averaging 13 points in the series, so he's giving them something off the bench. But in the starting lineup, you don't really have guys who can consistently score the basketball that much. So I mean Brunson is averaging 34 in the series, and his next top scorer is averaging 17. So you can say he's carrying the Knicks, but Kelly Oubre did a solid job on him, in my opinion. And later on, they switched Nico Batum onto Jaylen Brunson because he was getting hot, and he did a good job. But I mean, Jaylen Brunson was just making some tough shots. He would just get to that elbow area, spin, and shoot that mid range, and it's just good defense, but better offense from him. Now Jaylen Brunson does flop. He flops a lot, and he gets to the line, and he doesn't even take half the beating that Maxi takes, but for whatever reason, he gets to shoot more free throws than Maxi. Now I'm not saying Maxi's better than him. Obviously, Jaylen Brunson is a better player than Maxi, but Maxi does go downhill and he finishes through contact. So you would think that Maxi should be getting some of the free throws or some of the calls that Brunson gets, but Maxi's not given that benefit of the doubt. But I think this game right here was, a come out party for Tyrese Maxey. I think this game is a I have arrived type game for him, and I believe that in Game 6, he's going to continue to be on that level, in my opinion. Now, in the fourth quarter, when the game got tight, and I think with about down the stretch in the fourth, with about 30 seconds or 25 seconds left in the game. Miles McBride hit that, he hit that free throw line jumper, and he made it, and they went up by 6, and the Knicks were celebrating, and all the celebrities that was there, they had a lot of celebrities at courtside. You had Patrick Ewing, Tracy Morgan, a lot of Knicks legends, a lot of guys. John Still was in attendance as well, and they thought they had won, but Maxi had some different plans. They inbounded the ball to him, and he took a dribble or two. Um, he got to the three, he faked it, and Mitchell Robinson, he went for the pump fake. He got in the air, and Maxi, went up for a shot, and he made it and got the and one, and that was just a terrible foul. That was a terrible foul from Mitchell Robinson. You should know better. You should know better. But I mean, Maxi makes that free throw. They go up. I mean, he cuts the lead down to 2. The Knicks get the ball. Jaylen Brunson. Now I think Josh Hart gets fouled. He gets to the free throw line. He misses one and he makes the next one. So they go up by 3. So Maxi gets the ball again and he dribbles up the floor. And I don't know why they didn't foul him, but it was great that they didn't foul him. He takes a dribble from half court with 8 seconds left on the clock and he lets it fly. And at that point, I was saying in my head, Maxi, what are you doing? But miraculously, he makes the shot and he ties the game. And I was like, whoa. And once he tied that game up, I knew that the Sixers were going to win. And then the Sixers went into overtime. And the Sixers ended up coming up victorious. They scored 15 points in overtime. And the Knicks only had 9. And Embiid was making some great defensive plays, and offensively, he was trying to make something happen. But I mean, him having those turnovers really, really hurt him a lot. And some of the turnovers, I mean, it's just Embiid has to be better because some of the turnovers were, him posting up, and then somebody would just poke the ball, and then he would turn it over, and it results in a Knicks fast break and they score on those possessions. And a lot of his turnovers were like that. And some of his turnovers were, him being double teamed and then, he'll try to kick it out, then end up passing it to somebody else. And, it'd be a turnover. But went into overtime. There was a play where I really like this play a lot. So I forgot who took the shot, but I think it was Kelly Oubre. He took the shot, he missed it, and B got the offensive rebound. He kicked it out to the far corner to Nico. Nico dribbles it, passes it to Embiid, top of the key. He takes a pump fake. He takes one dribble into the lane. He gets up for his shot, and Miles McBride fouls him, and he makes a shot and gets to the line for an extra free throw. I mean, I think plays like that, keeping, hustling on the boards, keeping plays alive, and not giving up on the play, resetting or uh resetting for to receive a pass and making a play out of that. I think those are plays that will really really benefit the 76ers if MB can hustle like that and get offensive rebounds like that. So shout out to all the players that came out to play. Shout out to Kelly Oubre. Kelly gave you, I think, 10 points, and Tobias Harris was really a difference maker. He gave you 19, and those 19 points, the Sixers needed every last one of those points. And if he continues to step up, I think we should, in the first quarters, we should try to get Tobias going in a sense, because I think he's a rhythm player. He's not a player who can get it going at any time. I think he needs a couple touches around the basket or some open looks to get going. And then once he gets going, he can get into a rhythm and he can score or he can give you some level of production. I mean, he was scoring some of the points. Some of the points that he was scoring was just, I mean, there was a play. It was a broken play, and then Tobias gets it at the mid post and he shoots it and he makes it. And I believe that because he was in rhythm, that's why he was able to make shots like that. But shout out to all the guys that came out there, man. Nico, he gave you 8 points, 8 rebounds. Those are really huge. He made a couple threes and grabbed some rebounds. And the Sixers as a team did a better job keeping OG Anunoby off the glass. I mean, offensive glass, keeping Josh Hart off the glass and keeping all those guys off the glass. And they were able to win the rebounding battle. So shout out to the Sixers. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Tyrese Maxey. Like I said, man, 46 points, career high. And I think he can give you another 40-point game in game 6. But we'll have to wait and see. But shout out to Kyle Lowry, who he didn't really score any points. And like I said before, some of the fouls that they called on him were a little bit unfair. But shout out to him. I mean, his leadership. I respect his leadership and him being out there on the floor, hustling and doing so much for this unit. I really appreciate it. So shout out to him. Shout out to Nick Nurse as well. Now, it was reported that Nick Nurse broke his finger, banging his hand on the table after a missed call or something like that. And we don't know if it's fractured or if it's broken or whatever, but hopefully that's not anything serious. Hopefully he'll be able to be out there for game 6 because the Sixers need everybody. They need the coaching staff, they need the players. And I think the Sixers, if they win game 6, they have a great chance of winning the series. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to Cameron Payne as well. Came off the bench, made some big shots. He gave you he was an additional, ball handler or distributor out there on the floor. I think the Sixers need one more guard to, take those guard responsibilities and give Maxi and help Maxi play off the ball sometimes, because I think Maxi can be as effective off the ball as he is on the ball. So I think we need another guard. I mean, our guard rotations is Cameron Payne, Kyle Lowry, and Maxi. And Lowry was in foul trouble, so Cam Payne did get he did get some minutes. Kelly Oubre is used as a guard sometimes. I mean, he is a guard playing the shooting guard position, but I don't like him bringing the ball up the floor because I don't really trust his handle because he can get stripped, he can get ripped in the open floor. It's just his handle is not that tight, so sometimes I'm not really too confident in him, bringing the ball up the floor. But shout out to the Sixers. If they win game 6, they have a great chance of winning game 7 or they have a great chance of winning game 7 and potentially winning the series. Now, I do believe that this Sixer team, they really believe that they can beat the Knicks. They believe they can pull that 3-1 comeback and win this series. Now, am I saying they're going to do it? I don't know. I'm just watching to see how everything plays out. But shout out to the players. Game 6 in Philly. Sixer fans, please show up and show out. And yes, I was at game 5. Last night was my birthday. I didn't really tell a lot of people, but Last night was my birthday. I was at Game 5, and we did get into it with some Knicks fans. But shout out to the Knicks fans. They're so crazy about their team, and they don't give up so easily. And I believe Sixer fans need to do the same thing in Game 6. Show up for the team. Let's support these players. Let's help them get this victory and force a Game 7. But that's all I have on this game right here. I appreciate the love and support from y'all. Do y'all think the Sixers can win Game 6 and possibly force a Game 7? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts right down below, and we'll talk about it. Until next time, peace.